Please read the disclaimer. Just in, Bank of Japan decided to raise interest rates. The crypto market that was waiting for days and days to see what Bank of Japan was going to do, even though we kind of knew that they were already going to raise interest rates, was sitting, anticipating, and as soon as they made the decision, the crypto market rejoiced and actually started going up a little bit. We'll talk about the current price action of XRP, of Bitcoin, what's happening there. We'll look at a lot of interesting information. I'll tell you what I am currently doing with my positions. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smash that like button and let's get into it. So, Freaky Friday, and Bank of Japan delivered a widely expected move. Bank of Japan raised interest rates by 25 basis points to 0.75, the highest level in 30 years, in a unanimous vote. Key points: economy seen recovering moderately, wages and inflation expected to rise together, labor market tight, corporate profit strong, real estate still deeply negative, policy remains accommodative. Markets weren't surprised. The yen weakened position decision confirming this was priced in. This was normalization, not tightening. Now, we talked about the possibilities that the fact that in the previous interest rate raises, crypto, Bitcoin had fell 20-30% off of that news. But we have already, because of that possibility from previous times, it seemed that the market was selling off into the news. So similar to how we have buy the rumor, sell the news, you can have sell the rumor, buy the news, right? And so we're seeing a similar situation that's going on right now. If we look currently at XRP, you can see that going into the news, XRP actually fell down all the way to $1.77. This is the lowest price that XRP has seen basically since October 10th. And we'll get to October 10th in just a few minutes with an interesting opinion from Raoul Paul. But currently, we're seeing XRP was at its lowest point, even lower than November 22nd. And we're seeing many altcoins in that situation. Similar, Solana dropped to 116, even lower than its wick from October 10th. Seeing similar situations from Cardano and others. AVAX, right, dropped down already at 11, 12 area. SUI, right, at lower levels, didn't hit the wick, right, at 50 cents. But XRP also dropped, didn't, of course, hit its wick at 126. But we are seeing many altcoins that had closed the gap to the wick, to the bottom of the wick. We saw, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum didn't have the same wick, didn't have that same crazy sell-off like others. But we are now seeing the market recover off of that. Bitcoin again dropped to 84,000, now back to 88,000. And we're seeing, you can see, as soon as the news came out from Bank of Japan, we started seeing the run up here. So I missed, of course, the bottom. I was sleeping, but I did decide after seeing all the positive news that came out over the past few days, I decided, again, this is just what I am doing. This is my opinion. This video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. I decided to double down on the positions that I opened a few weeks ago on our partner BYDFI, and I grew them, I doubled them, and you can see here my Bitcoin position, my XRP position. The Bitcoin position is in the green, the XRP position is down a little bit with the average price of 191. So we'll still a little bit down on that. Bitcoin at 87,000. So it was about where I opened the first initial position. And again, we're using very low leverage here as a possibility to maximize, if we do have a movement, the possibility, but also not get destroyed if we do have a pullback. Of course, there's always things like October 10th, and that was a black swan event. And that's why, again, I'm not using huge amounts of my portfolio, just a portion of it. And you can see here the liquidations for XRP is at 1, for Bitcoin it's at 36,000. So And I'll have some stop losses here potentially if we do see a massive, pullback. But right now, that is what I decided to do. If you are interested using BYDFI, we have an exclusive welcome bonus happening now for before Christmas. You can go long, you can go short. You also we have these bonuses once you sign up using my link, and there is a special whale group for whale traders. You can see that deposit minimum of $5,000 to your account. There's a special chat with me and with a representative from BYDFI if you are interested in that. Links are in the description down below. The regular Telegram group is open to everybody, but the special whale one is going to be a special one. So if you're interested in that, link is in the description down below. We'll see price action, what happens here. Again, this is a position that I'm intending to hold for a long term. Short term, again, I don't know how the market is going to react. So far, it's reacting positively to the news. There is no really economic news other than this coming out today. We do have the president of the United States that came today. He said he's going to be talking to the nation at 1 p.m. Maybe that does something to the markets, but we've seen recently that the markets really haven't reacted to anything that he has said. Again, it's not really crypto related. If he decides to make, some bombastic announcement, then of course that could shake the markets a little bit. Looking at just the Fed probabilities, nothing has changed from yesterday. If we look at the fear and greed index, we're still at extreme fear at 16. It's probably going to rise if the prices bounce off of these levels. But again, we've seen, and we'll get to some opinions in just a second. We've seen this happen over and over again, where we rise a little bit, people start getting excited, they over leverage. Remember, I used in BYDFI here, I'm using 3x, 5x. This is low leverage. Okay, so this means that if we do see a shakeout, like we've seen in the past few weeks, where it suddenly goes up 4 or 5% and then drops down 4 or 5% in a very short period of time, I'm not going to get liquidated on low leverage positions. Okay, this is a long-term play here, not day trading, not short-term. If I do day trade, I'll do quick in and out movements, and then that's not for a video, maybe for a group or something like that. So that's very, very important to remember as well. Before we continue, if you haven't yet subscribed, now's the time to do so you always get videos and updates on your subscription page. Extra credit, if you ring the bell, you're gonna be part of the notification nation. And the easiest thing to do support the channel is just drop a comment or smash that like button. Okay, so let's get on with the news. We reported yesterday, the royal me, right? That Caroline Pham, the current CFTC chairperson, was moving on to MoonPay, right? She's taking a corporate job in crypto. Well, the U.S. Senate confirmed pro-crypto new CFTC chair Mike Selig, I think that's how you pronounce his name, will take over leadership of the Community Futures Trading Commissions following Senate approval. And we know that now, after the court case is over, the SEC, we know that if you are a commodity, how XRP is for retail, then you are regulated by the CFTC. So this is very good that the new CFTC chair will be pro-crypto, and good things coming for the crypto markets. Crypto czar David Sachs said, we had a great call today with Chairman Tim Scott and John Bozeman, who confirmed that a markup for Clarity is coming in January. Thanks to their leadership, as well as Representative French Hill and Congressman GT in the House, we are closer than ever to passing the landmark crypto structure legislation that President Trump has called for. We look forward to finishing the job in January. Right. And this bill can reduce potential manipulation of the market by 70% or more, potentially, according to Ash Crypto here. It will be very interesting to see how fast they get it through once January comes around. This all got, I think, postponed because of the end of the year and the shutdowns and everything that happened. I don't think it was high priority. So now it's back on the docket, and we'll see how that gets passed. And will it actually have some effect on the potential manipulation of the crypto market? Will, once it passes, institutional money start flowing in? That is going to be very, very interesting and important to see going forward. More news from Ripple. They are now entering a partnership with TGM to enhance institutional trade execution. Reese from Ripple says here, building on long-standing relationship, Ripple is providing the infrastructure to support TGM's premier execution and clearing services as they expand into digital assets. By combining Ripple Prime's capability with TGM institutional expertise, we're making it easier for hedge funds, family offices, and asset managers to access global markets with better capital efficiency. Again, the more the merrier, the more partnerships, the more potential flow on XRPL, the better. The more partnerships happen, the better. Okay. And I found this interesting. MoonPay, remember CFTC current chairman Carolyn Pham is going to come and be there working there. And now they put out this tweet presenting the unofficial mascot of the XRP army. I don't know. What do you think? Does it look cool? What is this? A knight, a paladin with an XRP staff here. It looks cool, but you know. How do you think the XRP official mascot should look, right? And this is an interesting take. Now, when we move into this part, it's going to be two takes that I found very interesting. One about a little bit more about what should have been, and then we're going to talk about Raoul Pal's opinion on the October 10th and what happened there and why the market is the way it is right now. So sit back and relax. The Ripple XRP RPL plan was supposed to start a year earlier. Thanks to an appeal and rate ruling, here we are. So if you go back in time and remember, the appeal kind of postponed things a little bit. Now the plan is still on track. I'll be starting later. This is from Vincent Van Code. He must admit, he will be the first to admit that XRP price he thought it would be much higher by the end of 2025. But hey, he's not a fortune teller. He just do research, present the facts, and make educated decisions. That's how all trades are done, even the huge management firms. So always ask yourself, what has changed since a year ago? What negative news about Ripple or XRP has caused prices to fall? If you can't answer that, it means that either broader economic factors or, as many others have pointed out, Bitcoin whale manipulation supported by Binance, pumping and dumping, especially on low volumes, along money offshores, longs, writing those contracts, and everything in between. Play safe, learn about crypto, read the papers, project docs, learn some basic core, learn about monetary system finance. Stop listening to riddles, bears, and a YouTube guy who is convincing persons with the high quality videos created by a team in a studio. I don't have a studio and I don't have a team. This is fake. But I know who he's referring to. Do your own research. Any shortcuts will result in potential issues. I agree with Vincent here. And nothing has changed for me long-term about XRP. Again, short-term price action, it's not been great. It's not been great for the past year. Let's not beat around the bush. Outside of the run in November and the run in June, July, the price action has been blah, right? It's been not great. If you're looking for run-ups and rallies and things like that, of course, there's always opportunities, but basically, since October 10th, XRP has just been slowly, you could call it oozing out here back to the 163 support level. And again, we'll see. Will this change here with the Bank of Japan now, and maybe some of the what's the word I'm looking for? The pressure, the selling pressure reduces. Or do we continue to see the manipulation? And if we go and we see what Raoul is saying here, he says, when I distill down October 10th, I get to this. Binance broke, the world's largest exchange. The API shut down for market makers. Everyone got liquidated. Most market makers were not able to backstop liquidity. It spread across exchanges. Those exchanges that had their own market makers or ability to backstop prices probably absorbed a huge amount of liquidations in small caps and majors. Someone had to step in. The equity flash crash in 2010 was similar. That inventory, much like on large market making desks or program trading desk, is Equit has been unwound to reduce the extra risk they took on. There has been tens of billions of backstop liquidity to unwind. Someone at huge losses, someone at amazing profits. It is not market manipulation, in his opinion. If there was any, it was in the backstopping of prices when market makers couldn't due to technical issues. This is what we're seeing today in his mind. Those that backstopped the liquidity need to de-risk. In program trading, we would see the same. Everyday liquidations to average out over time to reduce impact as much as possible. Things are not liquid right now, so it has a large impact. Year-end audits and market liquidity constraints around year-end mean that a lot needs to get finished now. This shall pass too. A lot of spelling mistakes here. He needs to use Grammarly. um, it's an interesting take that it's not really quote unquote manipulation. It's deleveraging of backstop positions and things like that. You could call that manipulation if you want. It's an interesting take, and this whole few months, will maybe 6 months, a year, we won't even remember this happened. October 10th, I'll remember just because it was a unique situation and because um, where I was and what happened and everything around it. But I don't think we'll really remember this kind of. I'll remember it probably because I talk about it a lot, but you probably won't remember what happened here. Same as I don't remember what happened here, right? In these few months, in the beginning of January. Do you remember? Now that I'm thinking, I remember it's the the tariff sell-off, right? But in a year, will I remember? Maybe. But people that are not in the market every single day and talking about it won't really know why the market was pulling back here. They probably don't know why it was running up here. Same thing. Going back, it will be very interesting to see what happens with the markets in the next few weeks. Is there a Santa rally coming after Christmas? I'm seeing already, see like the bubbles are already celebrating Christmas. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the year, to New Year. Some people might say maybe there's some harvesting here, tax harvesting. People are selling off to take maybe some losses that they have towards the end of the year, and then sometimes that creates some selling pressure. It's usually stuff that happens towards the last 2 weeks. So we'll see if that potentially happens this year again. I think that might be a little bit more in the stock market, crypto market. We'll see because there's already some losses here. It will be very interesting to see from a price action stand of view what potentially happens here for the crypto market. Today after the news is already out about Japan, and so far it's okay, right? The price action I'm just talking about, we're not seeing massive sell-offs, we're not seeing anything like that. But again, things can flip. We've seen it. Be careful out there. We've seen movements of 4, 5, 6%, and then pullbacks in very short period of time. Again, I think that's what Raul is saying. It's maybe some deleveraging of positions and things like that. So from those big market makers. So we'll see how it plays out. Just a reminder, if you're interested in the trading, we got our partner BYDFI. Again, they are a partner of the channel, so I will get a commission. Thank you for that. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the other links in the description down below to the Telegram group if you're interested. It's free and open to everybody. And of course, follow me on X if you're interested in some updates there as well. But usually what I post on X, I also post in the Telegram group. So it's better maybe the Telegram group to join there. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.